Hi, how are you all? I am obliging my non-Telugu speaking friends and trying my hand and making my first English video. So please brush aside if I fumble any time. Okay. I am going to talk about my favorite topic today, which is 9 planets of the solar system versus the Navagrahas belief that we Indians were holding on dearly for so long. Okay. Why I feel that this is an important topic is because if we can understand the progress and the development of astronomy and human understanding about solar system, then we can actually rationalize our thoughts and we can also learn to correct our beliefs and views based on scientific findings. Okay. So let us start by thanking all the greats who have actually helped us come along this far. Okay. So first point is the humans for eons actually wondered and pondered looking at the vastness of skies and were thinking like what were all these great things. Okay. So slowly they started understanding and tried to name them by grouping them. How do they name them and how do they group them? Simple. Some things don't move at all. So they started calling them stars. Some things do move and they go around Earth. Okay, let us call them planets, wanderers of the sky. Okay, how many planets actually go around? 7. The sun, the moon, and the 5 planets. Okay, these were called 7 classical planets by all the ancient civilizations. Okay, if we go away from these lights blazing cities and all the pollution, we go to countryside, villages, and if we can go up a hill, with our naked eye we can see Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter and Saturn. Okay, so these 7 are called the first 7 classical planets. Then what happened? Like any fear people, those who actually are afraid of the phenomena happening in the sky, they try to understand and decipher things what were happening. 2 things are solar eclipse, lunar eclipse. People try to understand what they are. So I am sure many different civilizations might have deciphered it in different ways. Indians initially thought there might be demons who are actually gobbling these sun and moon and then spewing them out after some time. Okay, so they named them as Rahu and Ketu. But after time went by, they realized no, it cannot be demons. So they thought it might be some shadow. Some shadow might be covering sun and moon during eclipse times. Okay, so what those shadows are made of? Oh, maybe couple of unknown, undiscovered planets. So Indians started for these 7 classical planets, they added these 2, thus became Navagrahas. Since then, Indians love them, they offer their prayings a lot. But what is happening in the other side of the world? Let us see. It was all due to mainly because all our idea was it was geocentric. People in ancient times used to think that everything goes around the sun, everything goes around the earth, and we are the center of the universe and all. But there were some great minds who were able to at least predict and guess that no, it is not geocentric and earth and other planets might be going around the sun. I learned that in the last millennia and before that, Europe churches and their kings were not so accommodating. So those who actually made such claims that the world was heliocentric, some of them are even burnt alive. Okay, I don't know how the kings of India and China actually reacted to such different ideologies. But anyways, finally people slowly started accepting different thought, if not openly. They started challenging and they started going through all these different ideas. And finally, when we started working on optics and light, thus was invented the telescope. So, our great Galileo looked at the skies, looked at the moons of the Jupiter, and everything changed. We more or less concluded, yes, it is heliocentric. And then, after another 150 years, during the late 18th century, he discovered for the first time a new planet. Until that time, there were only 6 planets, including Earth. Okay? Then he discovered the 7th one and they named it George. He was the king of England at that time. Okay? But then it was renamed as Uranus. Okay? After that, we discovered Neptune. Then, in the early 20th century, we discovered Pluto in the Kuiper belt. And astronomers did not stop there. The astrophysicists, they tried to find planet X, the 10th planet. Maybe they want to have it a nice 10 number round figure. So they tried to find the 10th planet beyond the Kuiper belt. Of course, they could not. And finally, they gave up. Not only that, in the new millennia, based on the new findings and all the latest equipment and all that stuff, they decided, no, Pluto does not even fit the definition of a planet, so they demoted it. Now, the solar system has only 8 planets officially. Okay? But Indians still love and they really heart about how they have devised and identified Navagrahas. Now there are some problems when they try to argue that it was actually discovered long time back. The problem is they don't want to correct it, and that is when the argument happened. Let us hear some of their arguments. Okay? They said Rahu and Ketu are Chayagraha, meaning shadows of 2 other unknown planets. But I think you all know that out of these 2 phenomena, which is solar eclipse and lunar eclipse, one is a shadow, one is not a shadow. What is that? You can pause the video and answer in the comments. What is that? Solar eclipse. Yes, solar eclipse does not occur because of a shadow. The moon directly comes between Earth and the sun. Okay, you all know that moon is much smaller than the sun, but it is 400 times closer. So that's why in the sky, sun and moon appear more or less of the same size. And during the solar eclipse time, okay, moon covers almost 95% of the sun's surface area, and we only see the halo like a ring. Okay, so it is not a shadow. It is actually the moon. And how about the Ketu? It is not a shadow of some other undiscovered planet. It is the shadow of our own planet. So, now when we ask them, how come it is so, they try to give different explanations. Not only that, some of them even argued saying that, hey, we know all along that it was heliocentric. That is why in the Navagrahas, the sun was actually at the center if you go to any of our temples. Give me a break, will you? Okay? If you knew all along that the world or the solar system is actually heliocentric, okay, then you would not be calling it Navagraha, you would be actually calling it Ashtagraha and the sun. Why will you be calling it Navagraha if you know it is heliocentric? Okay? And not only that, if you had any other additional knowledge, you would know that moon is not a graha, is not a planet, it is a satellite, upagraha. It actually goes around the earth, and the sun is actually taking it around the earth, around the sun. So, the claim of they knowing that it is heliocentric sounds very absurd. Not only that, now in the last 200 years, we clearly have empirical evidence that your Rahu is nothing but the moon which is causing the solar eclipse. Then why did you not remove Rahu from the Navagrahas? And the Ketu is nothing but the shadow of our own earth. Then why did you not remove Ketu from the Navagrahas? And to top it all, there is no earth in the Navagrahas. If you know it was heliocentric, why the earth is missing? Then they started thinking and they came up with a new answer. This time they said, no, the graha in Sanskrit has a different meaning than what you are interpreting for a planet, the wander, it is all different and all. They said Graha means something that affects the earth and the life on earth. They came up with a new definition now. Okay? There were close friends of mine who argued the same point with me. Then I asked them two simple questions which they did not answer till now. Forget about good answer or bad answer. They did not tell me any answer. Guys, if you are listening, please give me the answer. I'm still waiting. Okay, the first question is, if the definition of graha is something that affects earth, so it is different from the definition of planet. Now, please tell me, in the general consensus, any big boulder that goes around the planet, goes around the sun, is actually called planet. Now, what is the word which is actually similar to planet in Sanskrit? If it is not graha, then what is it? Where is it mentioned? Tell me the ancient scripture. Have you read anywhere? They have no answer. Now the second point. If you guys know for sure that these 9 things, out of 9, actually 7 are the physical objects. The other 2 are just shadows. Leave them aside. Okay? So, if they are actually affecting earth and the people on earth, I hope you guys have never really proved it, just making tall claims, right? See, according to scientists, there are 4 physical forces: gravity, electromagnetism, strong nuclear force, weak nuclear force. Okay, don't go by the name weak. Okay, nuclear force is not actually weak. We all know what happens when we have a nuclear explosion. Okay, so the weakest force currently, as people agreed, is actually gravity. You know the inverse square law, right? So gravity is the weakest. That is why all the life on earth actually can grow against the gravity of earth. I am able to raise my hand, I am able to talk, walk, run, jump. We are able to launch satellites and all, because gravity is the weakest of all physical forces that we know. So, if you know that there is another force, which is the 5th force, which is actually coming from all these 9 celestial objects or the 7 celestial objects that you are claiming and affecting us, don't make tall claims. Please give some empirical evidence. I am telling you, I am nowhere related to the Nobel Committee, but I am certain that you will win a Nobel Prize in physics hands down. Okay? So, all I am saying is, in school days, let's say if we do a problem or a sum in a wrong way, and when later teacher corrects us, we correct ourselves. Later, if we get the same question in the final exam, we give the right answer. So, why we lost that eagerness to correct ourselves? When we grow up, why we are actually thinking everything in an egoistic manner? Regional ego, religious ego, cultural ego, language ego, everything is ego. Why? See, when somebody is trying to correct you, they are not trying to challenge you. They are trying to tell their point across. And you also question your ideology and see if it is making any sense or not. That's all. Like Lawrence Krauss said, when we find out that we were wrong, it is actually liberating, exhilarating. Because on that day we have learned something new. Right? That is how we learn. We learn so many things. Earlier we knew that atom was the smallest thing, then we found out it is electron, proton, neutron, then we now come to know muons, lepton. There will be so many other things in the future. So, why we stick to the same concept and try to adamantly prove that it is correct? And not only that, what is happening when gullible minds believe in these stuff, they are writing stories around it, and there are conmen everywhere to exploit your gullibility and to rob you in daylight. Navagraha puja, Shani puja, Kuja puja, Rahu Ketu puja, this puja, that puja, so many pujas, and they won't let you sleep peacefully. They will tell you that some planet or something is affecting you, and they will rob you. And are they your friends, your well-wishers, or me, who is trying to ask some questions and make you think so that you will have tons of confidence and you will not have any fear in any of these cock and bull stories, and you will be able to sleep peacefully. So who is your friend and well-wisher? Am I not your friend? Okay? If you think I am making any sense, and if you think I am talking all the good things to you, we can always share, we can learn together. Okay? If you like my video, please like, share and subscribe. As always, keep thinking and keep learning. Thank you for liking. Thank you so much.